The great benefit of Constellation for musicians is that it enables them to have really perfect acoustics. And musicians need good communication. If the acoustics aren't ideal, that communication will be poor. The audience need to hear the musicians well, they need to hear the performers well, and if the acoustic is properly designed, and there will be good communication from the stage out into the auditorium. And so there are lots of communication processes that have to be optimised in order for a venue to be acoustically really successful. It's all very well to know that there are some fantastic concert halls around the world with almost perfect physical acoustics for classical performances. But the reality is that most people end up performing in very dry acoustics that aren't really suited to their musical instruments. And once you optimise the room to have the ideal acoustics, then musicians suddenly realise that they don't have to work so hard, and that enables them to engage with the venue in a really good way. Constellation's a complete package of design services, microphones, loudspeakers, processing technology, calibration and tuning services that we offer to venues around the world to enable them to optimise their acoustic, to produce ideal acoustics for different types of performances. They might want to do a rock concert 1 minute, they might want to do a classical music show the next, and they need to change the acoustic of the room for that. Any venue that wants to stage a wide range of different events needs to have different types of acoustics. Cinemas need a very low reverberation time, maybe half a second. As you move up into the world of amplified speech and drama and musical theatre, ideally the venue would have just a 1 second reverberation time. When we get up into the world of classical music, you might need up to a 2.2 second reverberation time. Over the years, there have been many different ways of changing the acoustics of rooms, long before Constellation was ever thought about. Physically moving panels is one, stage shells are another, and a lot of venues that have big fly towers, they've got big stages, they will put an acoustic stage shell in place for the orchestra. Those physical panels that are often installed in venues are expensive to install, they're expensive to maintain, they don't get changed as frequently as they should, so they'll set them in one particular position, and in rapid turnarounds between a rock concert and a classical event, those panels won't end up getting changed. Once we've completed a Constellation install with the appropriate testing, the calibration and then the tuning services, we then leave the end users with a very simple interface, and the iPad will have a number of simple presets so that they can change the reverberation time of the building. We have the ability with Constellation to not just change the reverberation time of the room, but we can change the distribution and density of early reflections in the space. People often think of Constellation as adding reverberation time to the building, but that's not enough, because reverberation on its own is actually destructive. By having control of the early decay time and the early reflections, as well as strength and clarity and warmth, we're able to optimise all of these things so that you can be in a venue where you have lovely reverberation, but you can also hear, and the orchestra or the performers on stage will have real strength. They'll sound as if they're in a big resonant space, and that's exactly what we're trying to achieve. I think what makes Constellation such a revolutionary technology is that it enables multi-purpose venues to stage different types of performances. The Constellation system can combine together with the PA system to produce the most beautiful sound, where people actually stop listening to the PA system and instead they just hear everything that's going on the stage, but bigger and better and with envelopment. And so for multi-purpose venues, it's the ideal way to approach optimising the acoustic for different performances.